Welcome to Keeping Pace. I can't remember how long we've been here, but we've been here long enough to change a few times. I'm your host, Darla Pickett, and the rest of the panelists that we have here today is Chris Perkins on the end, whom I'm always introduced as
something.
Well, he owns
real estate, that type of stuff. Yeah.
And Donna Finley, former legislator and
retired social worker.
And we have wonderful guests today that are going to fill us in on Madison's history. We have Lena Arno on our far left, who is Secretary-Treasurer of the Madison Historical Society and Genealogical Society. I got that sort of right. And we have Christy Boatchemin. Goes, and she's a volunteer with the same society, and they're going to fill us in on all that's Madison, or used to be.
That's an open question.
That's an open question. Tell us when you started doing this and what piqued your interest and what you have upstairs.
Well, I've been interested in genealogy for a long time. I'm a DAR member also.
You're what?
Daughters of the American Revolution.
Okay.
And there were 3 or 4 people interested in starting the Madison Historical in 1999. And we started out at the fire station, and then Leslie Drew was our president at the time, and he got us one room upstairs here, and eventually we got a second room. And then we have space upstairs, way upstairs, for storage, and we're filling that up. People keep giving us things that can't turn them down. No, so.
And how long have you been with stuff?
For about 5 years.
Yeah.
I've always been interested in history, so I decided that this would be a good place for me to volunteer. And I've enjoyed what I'm doing.
How often do you work here?
Every Saturday.
So you don't come in other than that, or?
Well, occasionally.
If somebody, in the summertime, there are visitors around that can't come any other day, that day, so we do come in to see what they want to look up or whatever.
Now, we want to mention probably where here is. Here is actually where our studios are, and is it 108 Old Point Ave? Okay, 108 Old Point Ave. See, I know how to get here, but I don't remember the address. So 108 Old Point Ave, and our studios are on the first floor, downstairs floor, and the Historical and Genealogical Society is on the second floor. And in the second part of this show, we're going to take a little walk upstairs, and you're going to point out a few things to us.
Yeah.
And for all these years, they've had rooms at least on, the second floor, would you call it?
Yeah, we're on the second floor.
And have collected all kinds of historical.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most interesting piece that you have?
You'd have to ask my husband that, and you'll see him later. He's out shoveling, so he thought he had to shovel. But he, I don't know what you call it. The thing that they used to use years and years ago, lighted up with kerosene, I think, when they had parades.
Oh.
I don't know.
To him, that's about the most interesting things up there, I think.
Did they lead the parade with it, or was it for an evening parade?
I suspect it must have been evening, because they had the, he probably knows. We'll ask him. He'll be upstairs later.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
So, when was Madison incorporated, do you know? When did it become
1804.
1804.
1804, yeah.
And you have material that goes back at least that far.
I'm not sure how far back we go. We've got maps. We've got very early maps up there.
We have some of the Westons.
Oh, yes. They were here in 1817, 18.
Yeah, so it's been a long time.
Wow.
Yeah, the Westons.
Do you have any? So do you have stuff that actually goes back to the time of Father Rawl and
Oh, yeah.
and that? Yeah, I'm sure that would be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
We have a wide variety of stuff.
Well, tell us a little about
I mean, we have file cabinets that have different things, like from the Mills history. In fact, we have boxes upstairs that we're waiting to get people in to help us label the pictures that the mill gave us when they closed.
Oh, wow. Nice.
We have that. We have Quanah stuff. We have Shirley Richards and her stuff
Robert
that
Rushworth, the astronaut.
We have the businesses like the Christopher's business, and we have all kinds of things. Plus, several families. We have shelves and shelves with books of different families' genealogy, scrapbooks, tons of scrapbooks. We have all the old Madison Bulletin papers.
Yeah.
From what, 1885
Yep.
to 1950 something when they went out of business.
So we have lots of that, and we're always getting something.
And so how do you get a lot of these things? Do people
People
just
just
call you
walk
up
in on
and
a
say,
Saturday.
"Hey, look, I got
Yep.
this
Yeah.
stuff I found in my house, and it looks pretty
Yeah.
historical, and I thought I'd give it to you."
Yeah.
Some people just 2 weeks ago came in. They were cleaning out their house, and they found all this stuff that had to do with Marcel Ward's, and they brought it down to us, and they named it and told us what it was.
Now Marcel Ward, who's that?
He ran like a
Woodworking.
working thing and repaired windows up on Heald Street here in Madison for years and years.
Huh.
So they were cleaning, and they've got more stuff that they're going to bring us. They asked us if they could bring us.
Everybody's cleaning house like
Yeah,
the rest
so
of
we
us.
take it. We just really would like if you know who the people are in the pictures or what's going on, that you label it for us, because
Yes,
there aren't
yeah.
sometimes these things, there aren't any more people that were alive at that time.
Yeah.
We have lots of pictures that have not got names on them.
Now, you mentioned the astronaut, and I can't remember his name,
Robert
but
Rushworth.
Rushworth. Yeah,
Oh, the gym is named
Yeah.
Yes.
after him. Yeah, okay. That's where that came
Yeah.
from.
because he broke some sound barriers. I don't remember all of his history, but
First astronaut.
the very first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Because he was pretty famous.
And what do you have of his?
Oh, this
pictures.
pictures in a corner of his, some magazines and stuff that have his thing with it.
He's buried in Forest Hill.
Oh, he is.
Mm.
And so when you get them, you set them and kind of make a display, and
Yeah, different things.
If we have room,
Yeah.
if we have room.
and do you have people call and want to set up appointments, and they come and
Excuse me.
Right now, Bob Abbott he's working on the Weston's family out there, where they've done all the trails and things in there. He comes in. He's been in for the last 3 Saturdays working, and we leave his stuff on the table so we can just come back and work on it.
Yeah. That's pretty exciting with the western land having been conveyed to
Water
Somerset
Woods or something.
Woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess they're developing trails out there, snowmobile trails,
Yeah.
and eventually this is all going to get tied into a
Great
big trail or rail trail
Yeah,
or
and there's
something.
I think they plan to have something up on the top of the hill, is what my understanding is, that you could go up there and maybe, I guess, have a picnic or something,
Oh.
Okay.
wow.
Yeah, we had we had on Now You Know, our other show a while ago. We had
Ernie Hilton.
Ernie Hilton and Jack Gibson
Yeah.
on, and they talked about their acquisition, or at the time it hadn't been official yet, but
Yeah.
the Western Woods.
That was a good show.
Oh yeah, well that gives me something to follow up on here, because they've been doing quite a bit of good stuff
Oh,
there.
yeah.
If you look out on Facebook, they have lots out there. We have a a website that's out on Facebook too.
Who did that for you?
Judy's granddaughter, Regan.
Regan.
Mhm.
Good job, Regan.
Yeah.
They have to be young to.
Yeah.
And stuff
She's a
like
good girl. She's
Oh, yeah.
no, I call her a niece. She's really not a grandniece. She's she's a cousin, but I think of them as nieces.
Yeah.
Judy couldn't
So-
come today. She had a doctor's appointment.
So ultimately, what's your goal? I mean, you put it all together. What do you hope?
We're supposed to be writing a book.
Yeah, you've got some done. You've got some
Yeah,
on the
I've got a
school
few
and the post
chapters.
offices. and stuff.
Yeah.
But we're also in the process of trying to find grant money, because we'd like to digitize everything we put it on, so that
Mm-hmm.
you could call it up, go on the web, call up and get all these things. And because a lot of the stuff is old, and it's going to wear out with wear and tear of using, like the newspapers articles
Right.
that are real old.
Yeah.
And we'd like to get those on something.
Would the town help you out as far as getting grants? Could you do anything through town of Madison?
I don't know.
Didn't think about that.
Just
We
a-
haven't thought
just a
about that
thought.
one.
Call Tim Curtis.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he's always helpful.
He is very
Yeah.
much so.
Yeah.
But that's the ultimate goal before everything gets deteriorated, and then to have working displays that we can change out.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have some speakers coming in the next few months, that are gonna talk. We're gonna have, Dave Calder is gonna come up and talk one month about, the log drives, cause we have a lot of stuff to do with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the other gentleman's name? Whitmore, is it? About the
Calder.
medal, but the other one, the one with the medals.
Oh,
Oh, and they're in the
yeah.
military uniforms, because we have several military uniforms. We have a Civil War one that was
Yeah.
one of the Westons.
Okay.
Wow.
Do you have regular meetings or fundraisers or
Once
What
a
is-
month, we have a meeting on Saturday.
on Saturday?
Mhm.
Okay.
And we do have fundraisers at Madison Anson Days. What do we do there?
We had a garage sale, but
Yeah,
type thing, a rummage sale, and we sell books, and we have Afghans and
yeah, we have the history of Madison.
Madison, and we,
Now, the history that you're writing, is it a history of Madison or a history of the Historical Society
No, history of Madison.
of Madison?
Yeah, we have something on the schools, the old schools, and the post offices, and I think I've got the library.
I was going to say the library because that was.
I've been working on that.
Well,
So
you've got
it's
quite
always
a
something to
project
do.
ahead of you then.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was a secretary, and I'm so tired of typing. I'm going to do it all in longhand.
Yeah.
How many members do you have?
Well, we have about 75 members, but
Really?
they're all over the country. Florida, California, Tennessee, everywhere.
Is there any sort of dues or anything that they contribute, or in other words, your funding is basically
Our
fundraisers
dues.
and or dues? Yeah.
Dues.
Okay.
$5 per family.
That sounds reasonable.
Oh, it does, it does.
Especially in this day and age.
And a lot of people do send extra, $10, $20.
Yeah.
So that's helpful. And then,
Well, we have at the election, we have
Yeah.
bake sale,
yeah.
and we do very well on that.
Yes,
Okay.
we do, especially if we have pies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many active members do you have?
Well, on a Saturday, what do we get? About 7?
7 to
That's
8.
pretty good.
It's
Well,
not
it's
bad.
not too bad.
No. We have to have done enough to have a quorum in order to vote on anything,
Yeah, we
so.
have to have 7.
So you're open every Saturday or most Saturdays?
Most
What did I
Saturdays.
see? Like 10 to 2?
Mhm.
Yeah. Last Saturday, we had 4 people there.
And anybody can come in off the street
Oh,
and
yeah.
tour through
Yes,
and
yes.
Yep.
yeah. So
And we'll help them with anything we can if they ask us, we know where it is.
That's why we need an inventory.
Mhm.
Because we know we have it, but we don't always know exactly where it is.
Well, and if you've got 3 floors worth of stuff,
That's
I mean,
it.
that's a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
A lot of stuff.
that sure is. Now, Lena, actually, we had you on, I don't know how many years ago, a while ago on the other program that we do is Now You Know. And I remember we had you on as the East Madison Historical. So you wear a couple of hats.
Yeah. 'cause I brought
And at the,
Kathy Edgley.
yes, and I remember at the time we were talking about that East Madison was kind of like the original Madison, and because they had a bunch of mills along
They
the
did.
water over
They
there,
did.
and then can you give us a little history how East Madison, everything moved from East Madison over to Madison?
But it's still legally the town of Madison,
Oh,
right?
Yeah, it's still
I live in East Madison,
Yeah.
on East Madison Road, but my address is Madison.
Yeah.
yes.
I think when the woolen mill and the Great Northern Paper Mill, when the mills in Madison came in, I think that made a difference.
Mm.
And they had 1 or 2 of the mills in East Madison burned at one time.
Yeah.
It's like Chesterville in Franklin County. Chesterville had a lot of industry in it and mills and things along the
Yeah.
Wilson Stream, and you know,
I grew-
Chesterville now is nothing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, basically,
That's
like
it.
East Madison.
Well, of
like
course-
North Anson and Anson. I
Yeah.
grew up in North Anson.
Yeah.
Did you?
Now I notice that they leave the word north out of everything. They call it Anson. Well, if you're not aware of what things are here,
Yeah.
North Anson is distinctly away from Anson, but
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
they call it. And so is East Madison in a way. It's not
Yeah.
wrapped up with.
Yeah, I mean it's all one town, but boy, there are local
Sections,
aspects
yeah.
of
Yeah.
both East
Yeah.
Madison and
Yeah.
North Anson.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, and I think they all both have a lot of pride about their own
Mm.
village.
I think when the Hinman Mill closed,
Yeah.
North Anson started to recede from being part of. and then
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have your own fire department over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do.
And your own historical building over there.
We have a building.
Yeah.
And we have a barn in the back now that got built about a year ago.
Do you do that too?
Yeah.
No, I didn't build a barn. No. Oh,
No,
yeah,
I mean,
well,
Are you a member
run
of
the-
East Madison
yes,
as well?
I am. But I distinctly didn't want to have any jobs to do there, so I'm just on the board of directors.
Oh,
They hardly
just,
ever do
she says.
anything.
Yeah. I know they have bake sales and stuff
Yeah,
over there
they
too.
do.
And- Right, I remember during the summertime.
Yeah,
Or is it, do you
Madison-
do something on Memorial Day too, or?
No.
No.
Don't think so.
Yeah, they have East Madison days.
And that's when the Grange
In the
has
middle
their,
Middle
Yeah.
of July, yeah, they have a Grange supper, and
yeah.
a Sunday hot dog, hamburg.
That's
you
right.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they're pretty active.
Yeah.
What's
We-
your, excuse me.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of upstairs? What's your favorite part of all that you do? What?
Oh boy, that's gonna take some thinking, isn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I do a little of everything. You know what secretaries do.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as what you have available
Oh,
up there,
available.
what's your, do you like the soldiers' uniforms? Do you like the old history? What's your,
I like the ladies' wedding dresses.
Oh, that would
Yeah.
be interesting.
We have quite a few of those, half a dozen or more, don't, about
Yeah.
half a dozen.
And are they out on display?
Some of them are,
Two.
yeah.
two?
And we have a lot of quilts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which most of those are in boxes wrapped up in good paper.
Because we don't have enough room to
No.
display
No.
those.
And that's the sad thing, and it's, I mean, not just this society, but even the Smithsonian and big places, there's so much that's there, but they can only be shown
That's right.
so often
That's
because
That's right.
there's more things available than you can display.
You'll notice we have a little corner up there in memory of Thelma Manta.
Oh,
We set
yeah,
up like a little
yeah.
kitchen table and chairs and an
Mhm.
old-fashioned washing machine
Yeah.
Oh,
and the
wow.
big round tubs that they had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I had one of those tubs. That was my first tub.
Oh, yeah.
You plugged it in, you hauled it over the sink, and you did your whites first, and you dumped the water, and oh, it was awful.
And my mother had to heat the water on a wood stove.
No, I didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Went to the stream or the well to get it.
Yeah. Well, they had it sometimes.
Yeah.
I know when I remember sitting there one day thinking, and I'm sitting in my chair, I'm washing clothes, I'm drying clothes, I'm running my dishwasher, and I was cleaning my oven. And I thought, all four of those things I did with no effort. And think of how
Yeah,
hard
That's right.
people used to
Exactly
work.
it. Yeah.
And no wonder Monday was all day long to wash clothes.
And Tuesday was
Tuesday
ironing
was
day.
ironing,
Tuesday
yeah.
was
What was
ironing day.
Wednesday?
They probably relaxed.
I doubt it.
Baking day. They
Probably
had to bake
the days to clean or
Yeah,
bake,
yeah.
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 They
Because they
never
had to
had a
bake
resting
everything.
day.
Yeah. Well, I remember living on the farm, and that was up until I was 5, but we had hired hands, and about, I don't know, 5 or 6 o'clock, no, maybe later than that, they'd all come in and my grandmother would have bacon and eggs. She always had pork steak and either biscuits or homemade bread and, a huge home fries, huge meal at
Yeah, we always had biscuits.
early in the morning.
No
and
microwave.
yeah. No, we certainly have it very
Yeah, I
easy
think of
because
that
now a
quite
lot of the
often.
women work out, but boy, they worked. They worked.
What's the earliest stove or cooking item you have?
Up
I
here,
don't-
you
I
mean?
Yeah.
don't know what that stove is date. I don't know what the date
A
of
gas stove, I would assume?
Oh,
No,
wood.
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 Wood,
Wood,
okay,
yeah.
wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what
I
the
don't-
date is.
We had an old electric stove that belonged to my great grandmother. And unfortunately, it was down in the barn. It was old then, but it ended up rusting and we had to take it to the dump. But I can remember that stove in her kitchen.
I'd find it so hard to give up a quilt that my great-grandmother, for instance, had
Yeah.
made. So there it sits all folded up in a box. I mean, because I don't dare to use it now because it's starting to pull at
Yeah.
the seams.
I
You can
gave some that my mother made. I've given to my nieces and nephews.
Have you?
But she made them for them when they were little.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I've got two and one of my mother-in-law's. But I have the last one that my mother made, 1976. Yeah.
And it's sad, really, that because we have one that Peter's grandmother made. Is probably the oldest one we have, but it's folded in a box, in a cupboard, and
You can.
it's too bad
You can
because
buy a rack and put them on.
you know we had it hanging at camp for a number of years, but then we decided that wasn't good because it was beginning to fade.
Oh, yeah.
True,
So,
sun exposure.
It's back in
Yeah.
back in the box.
That's where nobody can see it now.
yeah,
Faded or not.
but it's too bad.
Yeah, it is.
Do you ever turn anything away? Sometimes people
Good
just
question.
cleaning
We
their.
haven't turned
I
anything.
don't think.
No, some people just cleaning their.
No,
their
we take it.
their attic out or stuff like that, and some things are more valuable than others.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Maybe that's up on the third floor.
Oh, is there a third floor here? I didn't even.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There is.
Oh, yeah,
where
we
they're
got
storing,
2 or 3
they
rooms
said.
up there that we have things.
Yeah.
Now, do you have maybe you don't want to say, but there must be some things that people send you boxes of materials you can't keep. It simply doesn't make sense. Does that ever happen?
Yes. Yeah. We went down in June to the State House, to the library down there, and they had a museum. They have a thing for all the historical societies,
Yeah.
and we took all of our books that were like on different things and let people take them. If you were from that town, you wanted that book because it doesn't mean anything to us.
Right.
Okay. All right.
We get something from Portland or
Yeah.
Brunswick. We don't really need it.
That's another thing. If anybody that's listening that's never been to the Maine State Museum, it really, really is amazing. They've done an excellent job, and there's a lot to see. It's really,
I haven't
it's
been
very
there lately,
good.
but I used to
I
go
haven't
with
been
Cassie
there in a
Jackson.
number of years either, but it's really very nice.
Yeah.
You must get some ideas from there, like their little room. I like the room that they have all the furniture laid out. Looks like a real
Yeah.
living
Yeah.
room.
Yeah, that's nice.
It sounds like you
Flame in
did
the
that with that
stove, yeah.
corner.
Yep.
Yeah.
Has anyone written a fairly comprehensive history on Madison and Skowhegan? Louise Helen Coburn.
Coburn.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
Skowhegan, it was 2 volumes, right?
Yeah, we
Skowhegan
had
on
he
the.
followed up on that.
Yeah, and somebody did write
Jenny
a-
Hilton did
Yeah.
quite a lot, but I don't know if that was for Madison or Starks.
Who was it?
Jenny Hilton.
Yeah, that was a small book that she wrote.
Well, it was probably that thick.
But more that size.
Well,
The one that
I
I
have
have.
it somewhere.
Yeah,
She gave
me
it to
too.
me, and I tried to find it a while ago to give to somebody, and I don't know where it is.
I don't
But-
know if we have one up here of her, but I have it at home.
Because it did a lot when Skowhegan started out in Canaan. That was the
Right.
very
Yeah,
beginning,
that's
yeah.
right.
That's right. But has anyone written anything quite like the scope of the, let's say, Skowhegan on the Kennebec, or is it just been
She
little?
tried to follow up. She did a pretty good job. Kathy, she had that Federalist type house out there on Route 201 towards Sappy.
Martin.
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 Thank you.
Kathleen, that's
Kathleen
Martin.
Martin.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, that's
And
right.
I
Yeah,
have
'cause she and
that
my
as
mother
well.
used to argue over whose house was the oldest. Because they were both Western houses.
That's right. I remember she did write that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever read it.
I don't know.
But
I'll loan it
The
to you.
library
I have
must,
it.
Yeah,
oh,
but
you
that-
have it?
I have
Yeah.
but that's Skowhegan. There's
Yeah.
nothing quite like that for Madison.
Well, the book that we have in the town of Madison, which your mother wrote, that one that has some of it.
Yeah.
What she was saying is that your mother wrote some of it.
No.
Isn't your mother? It wasn't your mother? No. All right.
What book are we talking about?
The blue one.
Oh, that was Emma Folsom.
Okay.
Emma Folsom.
Yes.
Oh
my.
my word.
The
Yeah.
green visor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Don't you remember she always had that green visor
Oh
on?
yes,
She
I
worked
remember.
for the Independent Reporter.
When I was the
Years
editor,
ago,
she was
yeah.
she wrote for me.
Yeah.
What a dear.
We're going back in history here, aren't
Whoa. Whoa.
She was quite a lady.
and
She
the fact that
was.
you call the Independent Reporter too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we remember that, don't we?
Yeah.
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 Ruby Dyer.
We don't get any
Yes.
local news now.
No.
No, Rose
People
Haley.
don't want their business, I guess.
Well, that's what they
No,
have
when-
Facebook for, supposedly.
Yeah, about the same, huh?
Yeah.
When we were married, Ruby Dyer had in the Finleys traveled west over the Rockies for their honeymoon.
Yeah.
Because we did go to Colorado, but it was, she had everybody that visited with everybody, and
Yeah.
You know, the way the world is going, maybe a small independent local news paper might do
might.
well.
Well, we've
Facebook kind
we've
of
had it over
does
the years in Skowhegan, but
Yeah.
unfortunately it hasn't. We haven't had one for a while, and of course, print media altogether is
Is
not
bad.
doing
Yeah.
well. And of course, you're probably aware, and Darla, I'm sure you are, that the Morning Sentinel is going to
That's right.
stop
Go digital.
Monday
Yeah.
print media,
It's coming Monday.
and I'd like to
Yeah.
think that maybe that's just going to be Monday, but I think I can see the handwriting on the wall here.
Yeah,
You're going to
right.
have your little tablet to be able to.
I said,
read
but a
the
lot of
news.
people still have it because they get it online.
Yeah,
But if you don't go online, I like a paper in my
I like it
hand.
holding
Oh,
it in
yeah.
your
And
hands.
I do the crossword, and I mean,
Say
it's
that's it.
Yeah,
tactile. It's
I hate
something to
to
touch.
admit it though that I read a lot of my
Do
books
you?
now on a Nook.
So do I.
download books and
Yeah, I don't.
and I do, and I get the Boston Globe. I take that as that subscription on my
Yeah.
on my Nook. So I've
Yeah.
adapted to reading on that.
It's so much easier to read. I think you don't have to hold it, and I
You
find,
can read in the dark too.
yes.
Do you have
and
one?
What?
Do you have a Nook or one of those tablets that you read
I
with?
don't even have, we don't even have
A
a,
Kindle.
You have a
Kindle, same idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, same
we
thing.
don't have a
Yeah.
computer in our house.
No,
No computer, I love it.
Probably one of the few people in
now,
Madison.
you said you do a lot of typing. Do you do it on an old-fashioned?
Oh, it's electric.
I mean, do you have?
Yeah, it's a Smith Corona. In fact,
Really, God love you.
I have 3 Smith Coronas in my house.
Huh.
Somebody gave me 2 of them.
do they
didn't want
make
'em anymore.
typewriters anymore?
Yes.
They still do.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can. In
I have a
specialty
Smith Corona.
specialty catalogs. You can find them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specialty.
That's what it is.
In the catalog.
I have an old Royal up in my attic that I had in college that it was electric, but it was a.
Yeah.
I told them once, years and years ago, the editors didn't want to listen to me. I said, if you'd stop running pictures of someone mowing the lawn and doing things like that, scenic stuff, and make sure you printed all the kids' sports, all the sports guys have the right idea, but anywhere, people will buy the paper if they want to clip out something about their people. I mean, you can get the
Yeah.
news on the TV. or
Now they
somewhere
keep it in their
else.
phone,
Yeah.
which is again easier than going through a.
How many people there have watches on today? A lot of you people do.
I don't.
Wait, I
Yeah.
still,
I do. I still wear.
you
a
know,
watch.
I got my phone, I got the time on my
That's
phone
what I
and all
say.
that stuff, but I
Out of the
still
pocket.
Yeah.
feel as though I
I've
need
worn a
to
watch since
watch.
I was 17 years old.
Yeah,
A watch. I think I've only had 3.
Wow.
you've done better than me.
Yeah.
I've gone through a few, probably because I abuse them a bit more than you do.
Well,
but
I just I've got some really nice watches, but I wear this Walmart thing that
That's what this one is. Yeah.
Does the job.
yeah.
Yeah.
do you have any like timepieces or old clocks and so forth?
We had an old family clock with my husband's family, which he gave recently to his nephew.
How about upstairs in the,
Oh, you're talking about up here.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
oh,
I'm sorry. Yeah,
I got
yeah.
my house and here mixed up. What do we have that's... We don't have any old clocks, do we?
I don't think so. I don't
No
think we have
grandfather
lots of-
clocks or
lots of
cuckoo
paper.
clocks.
don't
or
want to
any
give
of
them
that.
up, I'll bet.
Yeah.
Most people
Yeah.
hang on to that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
We have the big whistle that they used to blow in town that came from the mill.
Do you? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And you said the mill gave you a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
What
they
did they
did.
give you?
Well, it's just boxes and boxes of pictures, is what it
Just
is.
Pictures.
And a lot of them aren't labeled.
Oh,
But we did have a gentleman come last Saturday, and he had some personal ones, and he's coming back. Down Pine Street, down at the lower mill, there they had women work there, and they made toilet paper, paper towels during the war. And he's got more pictures of them, the women doing them at the Indian Spring Mill, and he's going to bring us some
Never
that we
heard of that
copied.
before.
I didn't either.
Mm-mm. So that was something new that we learned just last.
Saturday.
I thought the lower mill was just where they pile the lumber,
Nope.
the logs, and
Yeah.
Oh, really? But there were like, what, 7, 8 mills in East Madison?
They had a
at
lot
one
of them in
time?
East Madison.
Yeah, they had a ton of them, and what, half of them burned down then? Or
Yeah.
something?
Fire was a hazard in
Yeah.
your
Oh, yeah,
because
those old wooden
you're reading
structures.
anything you read that we have. There's always mention of a fire was on such and such a day, and it took such and such a house.
Well, I can't tell you how often the fire truck goes by my house. And I don't know what kind of fires they have at Sappy. They must be small
Mhm.
because it's usually just one truck, but they go by. I don't think as much recently as they did, but seems like they go by often.
and don't they have their own? So when they go, it's like kind of like an extra person.
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't either.
Could-
I should.
Probably they do. But
Standby, yeah.
it would make sense.
Yeah.
Any of the chips that they would that would be very flammable for sure.
Yeah.
The gentleman that was in Saturday with
Yeah.
all the pictures
Mhm.
there, he also said he's back working at the paper mill,
The new place.
the new
yeah.
place. They only have 4 people there now.
Have we had them on?
Yes, Josh Henry. We
Yeah,
had him
Josh
on
Henry.
Now You Know, and
With Tim.
I must say that's going to be an exciting new part of history for
Yes.
Yeah.
for Madison, because from what I can tell, that I think he's going to be very successful.
And the man on
Yeah.
Saturday said about every 6 months for a while they're going to be hiring more people.
Yeah,
Isn't that
So
one?
it's a gradual,
Great.
but
Yeah.
they want to get up to 100 something, right? 120.
Oh, they
or-
gave me chills. It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, no, this is a nice news for
Yeah.
Madison.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the whole area. But yeah, he's a very bright, ambitious fellow, and the whole technology seems to make a lot of
Yeah.
sense to me. So yeah, that was a really nice having him on the
I don't know
show.
what they were doing out on Route 148, near the electric place where they have the solar panels.
Mhm.
Yeah,
There was a big machine there loading rocks, I think, but out near
yeah,
the
I noticed
road.
that the other day.
Oh, they
I don't know whether they're building the wall higher or
Yeah,
something.
I don't know. Couldn't
I know
figure
I-
it.
I don't
Because
know.
I don't know if there's more room out there to put any more solar panels or not.
Well, that whole field up above there has nothing.
I think
Yeah.
they're planning to put
Mhm.
more.
Well, that's
Yeah.
probably what they're working at.
Now we need to have some clever young person come up with a way to make them look attractive.
Yeah.
You know?
Disguise them?
Yeah, well, sort of. There must be something you can
Yeah.
do with that shape and that size to make it look.
That's right.
I've been kind of peeling my brain, but I can't think
No.
of any ideas.
Well, I don't care what they look like. It does make our
Well, there
electrical
you
bill
go.
the
There
right
you
price,
go.
so that's good.
And speaking of that, do you have anything on the history of the Madison Electric Company and how that got
I think
Yeah,
have
we do.
formed? Because I
George.
mean that really has been
Yeah.
a real
George
plus for the
Strudemeier.
town.
Yeah,
Sure
yeah.
it is.
Saved you a lot in your
Mhm.
electric rates, and this whole they cutting edge stuff with the solar panels
Yeah.
here,
And they have storage, the excess of it, instead of it going back down in the ground at night like solar power does, it goes down here at O Point and it goes into like a trailer, and it eventually when it gets filled, they send it to the grid.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've done well.
Is your bill gone down? I'm still on Central Maine.
I
Oh,
think
you
my
are?
bill is very reasonable. I'm happy with it.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
East Madison is.
I know, it's too
Central
bad
Maine.
the lake with the taxes we pay to Madison.
We
could
just soon be
out
on
of it.
Madison Electric.
Yeah.
Mine was $143 last time. That's just stiff for a little mobile home
Yeah, for one person in it.
for
Yeah.
one person.
Yeah, that is.
Well, we can get into the whole controversy with CMP.
Yeah.
We certainly couldn't solve that here.
No.
Now
we
that
can't.
Madison doesn't get involved in that because they have their own.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Madison.
Well, there's a
Electric is-
move, I don't remember the legislator's name, and I should, that's working to get the state to become its own,
Is it Seth Berry?
yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Its own power company.
Yeah, and matter of fact, there was an article in today's Morning Sentinel about that, and that they are looking at that, and they've done a study, and the study says long term they feel it would be lower rates. Of course, in the immediate future,
Yeah.
it said it might raise them for a period of time, but in light of how CMP is doing at the moment,
Yeah. Well, and if they followed the Madison plan,
yeah.
I don't see why it couldn't happen. And it would, well, it's always going to be politics, but it might take some of the profit
Yeah.
that is made out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there's been some, there's been at least one successful example of, and it wasn't really, I don't know if it was a nonprofit, but remember back in the workers' comp crisis that they had when they formed the Mimic or
Oh,
Maine
yes,
Employers
yeah, Mimic, yeah.
Mutual
Yeah.
because workers' comp rates were out of control, so
Yeah.
they formed this kind of, I guess it ended up being a private company, but it ended up substantially
rates,
lowering
yes,
workers'
yeah.
comp rates. Where
That's
I
how
think,
your old boss made all his money.
yes, well, that's another story, another show. but that did work. They formed a kind of a quasi-public
Yeah.
operation, and it turned things around here in Maine. So I don't know how that would relate to a public utility
Right,
like replacing CMP, but it'd be interesting to see.
Well, Chris, I have 10:10. That would give you 20 minutes to do a tour.
Oh my goodness!
oh, we can rush
Yeah.
you right through.
Yeah.
You really don't want to miss it.
No?
No,
So,
I
okay.
think that's something we ought to do. So I think what at this point is, I guess I'm going solo upstairs with two ladies to.
I might go as far as the first landing,
Okay,
but I can't do any more than that.
okay, and we'll take a look at some stuff, and maybe we've even short shifted you a little bit on that part, but we got so
Well, that's okay.
involved
Back
in
again.
conversation here, which we usually do, that.
I'm
But-
sure you'll be back and we'll be back again.
I think so. I think I remember you now. You came here one other time.
Was it you? It was either you or the other gal that's no longer living that did the
Mary
corn
Fox.
when Jamie brought the corn husker. Was it you that knew how to feed it? No.
No.
It wasn't me.
Actually, I'm sorry Jamie couldn't make it today because Jamie is our kind of board
yeah,
historian,
yeah.
Oh,
and
he's good.
we usually try to get him to bring a few
Oh, you can
old
come back.
historical items.
Yeah.
You can
And
come back.
but
Okay,
he
we'll
was
go
busy.
upstairs
So
then.
I think
All
we're
right,
ready
let's
to.
go.
We're going
Yeah.
to stop.
Yeah,
now.
I think we're ready to go
Welcome
upstairs.
to all of you and hang on tight. We're going to shut the camera off for a minute and go upstairs and take a tour. So don't quit on us yet. Lena is going to show us some of the items that are here in the Historical Society room. I had one of those.
Yep. These Pelton paintings up here on the wall, we have quite a few. And he was a gentleman that just walked around town. He'd walk up as far as the Fox. I think I've heard the story. And he'd give a person a painting if he stayed the night or had a meal. He 25 cents he charged for a picture.
Now, how old are these, Lena?
Those paintings,
Yeah.
I don't know, do you, Shirley? Back in the
20s and 30s.
30s, yeah, I was thinking the 30s, yeah.
But not anything that's very valuable except to people in this area.
Yeah, right.
There are several people in this area that do collect them and have quite nice collections.
Hey, we do have an old clock. We were talking
My
about
God, you do have an old clock, don't you?
So much
Yeah.
stuff we don't even know what we have for sure.
You don't know. And that's a whistle in the mill. Shirley can tell you when it used to blow. I didn't live in town. See, she's trying to hide, but it's not gonna work. Those are map drawers, but we've got paper that we need and different things in there.
Yeah.
And these are old school pictures. Old school pictures. All right.
Yeah, except for the one that we have marquee the bulletins for the Strand Ballroom that was here in town.
Where
was that?
Yeah, there you go.
That was down where the Legion Hall is now, in that area.
Yeah.
And then it was on Main Street.
Street, yeah.
You
Okay.
know where Buzzy the Barber is?
Oh,
Probably
Buzzy
not.
the Barber. My
Yeah,
dad
it
was
right,
there.
right near there.
That's right. But the ballroom, so they used to have these
Dances.
dances.
Yep.
Was that like a regular thing?
Oh,
back
yeah.
then? Yeah.
We've got several. These are the ones that are in the best condition. And then just advertise at different times they had dances and different who played for the orchestra.
Did you look that up? Is that Jackie Alpern? Is he a big deal?
I don't know. Don't know.
It was at the time.
At the time, well, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. There we go.
So,
And what are those graduating classes of Madison High School or something over on the wall over here?
yes.
Okay.
And there's some of the old schools.
But
So
we can't name them.
We
Once in a
only-
while, we have a few names, not many.
Yeah.
And if my husband would get out of that corner, I'd tell you,
So we're gonna go over in the corner.
yeah, that's our sports corner.
well,
We-
then,
There he is. He might as well be on TV. We're gonna make him a star. How are you? Good to see you.
Darla Pickett.
we've seen her picture in the paper before.
Now point out some more stuff. We see some athletes here.
Sport pictures in the corner,
Yeah.
and we have a lot of scrapbooks over here.
Okay. And you got football team.
Oh yeah, football, basketball.
What's that, like a hockey team up I see a little.
Yeah, it is.
Madison had a hockey team?
I think they used to play Vinziano's up where the Vinziano's live.
Yeah.
That's next street over me. They used to flood the field out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And they used to have, in fact, they used to put on ice capade shows even after.
Yeah. My dad played hockey in
Yeah.
high school because back then they used to, there was no indoor
No,
arenas. They
no,
played
no outdoors,
outside.
yeah.
They
Rough and
flooded
tough.
the field, rough and tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm seeing all sorts of scrapbooks.
Yeah.
The
and
scrapbooks and the black notebooks, and around the corner, those are mostly family.
We have town reports, we have the school boards, bulletins.
Yeah, around the corner.
We also have on Microfiche, we have all the Madison bulletins. That, on that as well as the regular hard copy over there.
Over here.
And these are families, these are like a lot of genealogy references, different family booklets.
So yeah, that's part of your name, right? Is genealogy. So somebody can come in here and try to trace their
Yeah,
roots.
yeah, they can try.
I guess.
Yeah,
They can.
So you probably there's a lot of old recurring names in Madison, right?
Yeah.
Weston being one of
Yeah.
them, you know.
yeah.
So you have quite
Christopher's.
Christopher's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can come in here and actually trace your
We have
roots.
more of that in our file cabinets where we have our yearbooks. We have yearbooks back.
From the first Madison High School yearbook was 1939. They're all up there.
Okay.
So once in a while we've been missing one, but somebody usually.
Were
finds
they
it.
named the Bulldogs all the way back then, or did
Yeah,
we did that?
that's when they started with Bulldog. Before that, they had a small one.
And you're still the Bulldogs. Skowhegan doesn't have a name right now.
I
They're
know.
trying to
Well, that's another story.
That's another story.
Yep.
Riverhawks.
River-
I decided it should be Riverhawks.
Did you put your name in yet, Darla? It's
No.
like 1500.
What do you want it to be?
Riverhawks.
Oh, that sounds pretty good.
That's an interesting
What they
idea.
would like to show on the old.
Yeah, those are the old, we have that thing in the corner over there full of the Madison Bulletin.
Oh my gosh, haven't you?
Look at
Done
this.
a great job.
This would be the school history, right
Some
up.
people got married, they got babies, it's just a little teeny tiny,
This is 1936.
yeah.
Holy cow.
So how long was the Madison Bulletin published? I'm
Rodney?
not familiar with
It
it.
says on the outside,
Says here 1885 to 1951.
So 1951.
Yeah.
Okay.
we remember that.
Yeah. Well, it was a couple years before me, but.
Who was
Oh,
that?
sorry about that.
Even
Yeah, during the war, my father
Look at the
wrote a
Madison
column
vocals,
in it too.
that whole thing,
whole thing, and cartoons.
a card of appreciation.
Koritsky's, I remember Koritsky.
Oh, yeah.
They stayed here a while.
Now it's a rental place that my nephew owns,
Really?
Pomlo's Market.
Well, that's right.
That's where Irving's was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flanagan
Yeah.
Chevrolet. Yeah. Madison
Flanagan
High School.
Chevrolet is where Campbell's hardware stores.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice. So you put this all in context.
Mhm.
here.
That's in good
It was
condition.
down
I'm not gonna touch it.
Yeah, I wonder why that's so much better
when
than
it
that.
started.
No, they weren't when they
That's
started, but
been
that was
exposed, I
where they
bet,
were
more.
later on.
Yeah, it's a little more yellow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they
Where
got,
we keep the books was in Belander's restaurant. It was their warming oven for food.
yes, yeah.
So
Oh,
that got
okay.
donated. and
Really?
That's what
The
that
newspapers
was for.
did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
interesting.
for heaven's sake.
Interesting.
This was in a parade that the Banta family did. they built, looked like the old thing down at the railroad station. And they hauled it through the parade and,
What year was that?
oh,
2004.
okay.
Sorry.
And this is where we have uniforms,
And
military uniforms, and a couple of wedding dresses in there.
We have medals displayed over here and here.
And a western uniform.
Oh my heavens. Were people smaller then?
Yeah.
Yeah, weren't they?
Yeah. Must be the hormones and all the
See, I live in my grandparents' house and I had to take the sink out in the kitchen because the sink was out here to me when I went in.
Yeah.
Because my grandma
You're
wasn't
talking about people being smaller back then.
Yeah.
I've just been watching on the History Channel their miniseries on Washington, George Washington,
Yeah.
and he was 6 feet 2 inches tall. So he was like a giant in his age. So everybody looked up, and another reason they looked up and respected Washington, he was a big guy.
That was in the post office, which was down near the railroad track. And people came and passed the post pickup window.
Where the fish place is now?
On the other side of the street.
Yeah.
There was a big growl block there.
Yeah. You used to have a bowling alley there, didn't you?
Yeah.
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 Who is this fella up here, father of the
Alfred Christopher, oh no, no, not Alfred. We
Time?
got more over here.
Was he actually in Time magazine?
I think he must have Father of the Year.
Well,
Yeah.
that must, Alfred Christopher, it says
That's
down
Alfred,
below
but
that,
he
yeah.
He wasn't the father. Father's over here.
Well, that's pretty big being in Time
Oh, yeah.
magazine.
Yeah. Don't forget
Okay.
to show him this.
He can't hear you,
Oh,
so we're doing it for this, so.
you've heard of a torchlight parade. What do you think of when you hear a torchlight parade? Back before there was street lights.
he's too young.
I used to think of wrapping rags around a stick.
Yeah, and
soaked rags.
soaking it and then,
But who wants to hold that over there?
not really.
And that's what that is?
We inherited from the library.
Well, he inherited quite a few things from the library.
And it says, it came down,
Yeah,
Ah.
I picked that up a dozen times today.
November 12th, 1896. This is from the history of Madison. Madison, Anson celebrates the Republican victory by a big parade, torchlight procession and illumination. It was a complete success. There wasn't any street lights at that time,
Ah,
but and they didn't wrap oil-soaked rags around the stick. They made, well, I don't know, you call that a parade, well, it's a parade torch.
yeah.
I guess that's about all I suppose they put
That's
kerosene
interesting.
in it. But that was before they used, after they used whale oil for
We have all these metal, this is the Rushworth stuff over here.
Okay.
All these metals that
Oh,
Rushworth had.
Long Star citation for Lawrence Bagley.
I hadn't
He
seen
lived
Shirley
out
look
in the
like that.
country. He didn't live in Madison. He lived in the town of Madison, but not in the village. Gas mask.
I noticed also you've got up on the wall here,
That's
all
the
these
whole Christopher.
Christophers,
Yeah.
like the Christopher wall here.
Yeah, it's one of their signs.
Oh yeah, Christopher wholesalers. Was Alfonso the one who started the business?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Amadeo maybe.
Oh, Amadeo.
Amadeo.
Amadeo, okay.
Yeah.
Bryce Edwards, you've heard of Bryce Edwards, he ran a funeral home.
Oh yeah, Edward's funeral, yes,
And
yes.
he sold wallpaper with a catalog.
That's an interesting combination of wallpaper and funeral business, but
Yeah,
made money any way you could, right?
D.K. Edwards, funeral director. He had a telephone.
Okay.
both phones. Go out with both phones.
So is this the table you were telling us
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
that you set all up with?
That's the East Madison corner. Thelma Man, in memory of Thelma Manta.
Mantor, yeah.
Is that her stove, her actual stove?
I believe so.
That's a wood stove.
Shirley's saying yes. Yeah.
Cook stove.
And the old heavy ironing board and the washing machine and the big round tub. I've got one of those little scrub boards, I think.
I do too, my
I've
mother's.
got a big one, I've got a small one.
You got a fancy wedding dress there, I see.
Yeah. That was one of the Western ladies.
One of the Westons.
Look at how tiny it is.
Yeah. When I was in high school, she was on the farm. She and her son, her husband had died. And we picked beans up there.
Okay.
She was not that tiny. But she was in love with
Well, when
me.
she got married, she was.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Look at that quilt.
yeah, that's pretty.
Oh, we've got over here, we've got a classroom
We've got a
setting, huh?
classroom. Yeah.
That's it. Oh, with a little ink pen there on the.
We got an M, not an S.
Oh, yeah.
Now, did that globe come from one of the classrooms, I'm assuming?
I think so. I don't really know
I don't know
where
if it's
that
labeled.
globe came from.
I bet if we looked up closer, we would find that the world has changed quite a bit since
Mhm.
that globe
Oh,
came
yeah.
out. Yeah.
Right.
And do you know which school those desks came from?
I think they came from the junior high school that got torn down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leslie Drew was our
Yeah.
president then.
I mean, we do have school bells up on top of the piano,
Yeah, school bells.
different schools. That's a wedding dress. That one's a Vinziano's wedding dress.
And we've got the Rushworth astronaut on the over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Cover of the town report.
Yeah. They named the gym after him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is kind of nice. Was that him with Margaret Chase Smith up on the
Yes.
on the upper right hand
Yes.
corner?
Yeah.
Is that Shirley Richardson too?
Shirley Richardson.
Oh, here,
Yeah.
what is it?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking
Yeah.
at the upper right hand corner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Was the coats, why do you keep these Coats and Clarks? Was it
There was a company, I've heard of that.
here in
No,
Madison?
I don't think
Oh,
so.
okay.
I don't think so, no.
Yeah,
Right there.
so right here, this. That's beautiful.
Stained glass. Yeah.
Yeah, Kiwanis is now a church.
Time.
Yeah, this is the Western Post. It was.
Grand Avenue.
Yep. This picture's interesting on here, but it's small. I don't know. It's the last meeting they held.
Yeah. Who's that?
Miss Wilbur, Blanche Wilbur.
Blanche Wilbur. Okay.
And she was some relation. Do you know who Gerald Payne is?
I know that name.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's a
he was
picture of
top.
him.
He and his wife, yeah.
Yeah.
She was a Stoudemire.
Now I see a picture taken from the plane or something like that
That's what it
of
looks like.
down in Madison.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know when that was roughly?
No? Long time ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's got the old bridge. It's
Yeah.
got the covered bridge that was there in
Yeah.
it, so it has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty old.
Yeah, probably late 1800s, early
Somebody ought
1900s.
to study the bridges and see the dates on
Well,
it.
that's in the works. That's a project.
That's a project.
Yeah.
And that's the water pipes standing in the corner. The pick poles.
No, we didn't mention these.
Yeah. Well, I didn't cover that.
Okay, I don't. When they had the mill, they used to have the pick poles there that they used to take the logs off in the conveyor belt and then put them on the conveyor belt to run them up to the higher mill from the lower mill. They used to come out of the river.
Oh, okay.
You know, they kind of did this, caught a hold of them, put them on, guided them in. We have several different types.
Well, I think probably we've seen what we can see in the time period we have left.
Well,
So we
you can
want
come
to
back
thank
again.
both of you, all three of you actually, for helping us out.
There's the fourth one out there.
There's the
Slide it.
fourth
The
one.
fourth one, didn't see the fourth one.
Hey,
Your
what-
name?
Shirley.
Shirley,
Everyone give their names, yeah.
Lena,
Oh, that's Rodney.
Rodney,
Christy.
Christy.
We
Thank
welcome visitors any Saturday
Any Saturday from when to when?
from 10 to 2.
10 to 2. So thank you very much for the tour.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for filming.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.